The door swung open, and Mr. Marlowe, a reedy young man, rushed into the library. Rathbone's expression changed into one of appalled shock. "Not now, Marlowe." "Sir, I have something of the utmost importance. I don't want to alert the household because I don't want Lady Rathbone to learn of it from any of the maids. I feel the stress would be too much for my lady." He spoke rapidly, without pausing for breath. Rathbone jerked upright and stood. "What are you talking about, Marlowe? You're trying my patience. If this is about one of Edward's hijinks—" The young man gulped, bobbing the prominent Adam's apple in his narrow throat. "No, my lord. Master Edward is missing." "What? How can Edward have gone missing?" Cord tapped his finger on the top of his desk, glaring at the young tutor. Ash stood and approached Mr. Marlowe. "Are you sure he's missing and not pulling one of his tricks?" "No, Lord Ashworth. His bed has not been slept in, and neither he nor Gus has eaten this morning. Master Edward and his dog never miss a meal." Rathbone paced behind his desk. "If this is one of his escapades, I'm going to— Lady Henrietta must not hear about this until we find him." It was obvious that Rathbone wasn't considering Edward's disappearance to be suspicious. Derrick couldn't ignore the possibility of a kidnapping. But certainly no one could have entered the house. The entire estate was guarded, and over half of the footmen were soldiers. But last night the household was in a state of total chaos, a perfect time for criminal action. But why a young boy? Leverage against Rathbone and Kendall was a likely conclusion. "When was the last time you saw Edward?" Ashworth, a close friend of the family, took over trying to calm the tutor's fright. The awkward man swallowed hard. "Late last night. I waited downstairs for Mr. Brompton to check that Master Edward remained with the family. Brompton reassured me Edward was with the family and that I could retire." "How do you know Edward hasn't eaten?" Derrick asked, hoping this was all a misunderstanding due to the tired staff. "Edward usually eats breakfast with Lady Rathbone and his uncle, and then we meet in the small library to begin our studies. But because of the late night, no one was in the breakfast room. I assumed he was still sleeping, so I waited in the library preparing the lessons. When he didn't appear, I went to his room to check." Rathbone moved closer, staring at the young man. "What is it, Marlowe? What aren't you telling me?" Derrick saw the young man flinch. The tutor's eyes darted to Rathbone's face and then back to the floor. "Go ahead, spit it out. Lord Rathbone will not reprimand you, if it helps find the young whelp," Ashworth said. "Edward lately has been upset." "Upset?" Rathbone barked. "And why haven't you shared this before now?" Mr. Marlowe cleared his throat. "He never confided what was upsetting him, but I could tell he wasn't his usual spirited self. Edward hasn't been able to spend as much time with his family since the marriage of Lord Kendall and Lady Rathbone's condition." The young tutor's freckly face turned bright red with the mention of Lady Henrietta. Of course, Rathbone glaring at the young man further undermined his confidence. "Do you have any idea where Edward might have gone if he was upset?" Derrick asked. "He and Gus love hiding in the woods. They can disappear there, making themselves impossible to find." "That is very helpful, Marlowe," Ashworth added. "I'm aware that Edward spends a lot of time with his uncle. Have you checked with Uncle Charles?" Derrick asked. "Uncle Charles is still abed this morning, and I didn't want to alert Brompton to my concerns." "Anything else? Anywhere else you've checked?" Derrick asked. "I've gone through the house and into the stables." Marlowe's voice cracked. "I'm sorry, Lord Rathbone. I failed in my duties." Ashworth patted him on the shoulder. "You did well to come to Lord Rathbone first." "Lord Ashworth is correct. You did well, Marlowe. Return to the library and act as if nothing out of the ordinary has occurred. Do you understand? I do not want my wife to hear of this." Rathbone turned his back, dismissing him. The tutor scurried out of the room. "I can understand your concern that Lady Henrietta not be told." Ash looked at Rathbone. "But do you think it's wise not to inform the staff? Surely the Bromptons can be trusted not to inform her ladyship. And Edward might have confided in them." Rathbone walked to the large window and looked out at the downpour. Derrick didn't want to be the one to raise the possibility of kidnapping.